Welcome back to I Arted and You Can Too, Luzerne County Public Television's preeminent cultural institution. Thanks again to our last guest, Wendy Greenwald. Be sure to check out her book, What the Heck's a Taco? 15 Helpful Spanish Words to Help You Order at Taco Bell. We only have time for one more segment. Thankfully, it's everyone's favorite. Is that who I think it is? We'll see. Let me just get started here. And you know what? I'm gonna have fun with our colors today. The fact is, when I think of the subject of today's painting, the second word that comes to mind is fun, so why not? The first word that comes to mind is turpentine, but I can't quite say why. Anyway, let's start with a nice greenish kind of teal color and work on the subject's shoulder here. And we're gonna cut in a little bit because though our subject doesn't have a strong backbone, he does have a strong neckline. Now we'll do the same on the other side, though not with any kind of mind towards symmetry, because well, if God wanted us to look the same on both sides, he would have just made us into Chuck E. Cheese tokens, wouldn't he have? And this feels like the perfect time to dispense with the first clue. The subject of today's painting has a unique recessive gene that makes his sweat smell like Duncan Hines red velvet cupcakes. Now we're going to change our color to a little more of a slate, and we're going to work on the subject's undershirt. Oh, this looks fantastic. It has that unsteady, slipshod, curvy look that only us masters of the craft can really capture. Our subject is a little bit of a fancy dresser, so we're going to add in a little detail here for their shirt collar. And a tie. A tie. Can you believe it? What is this? The grand opening of a Ponderosa steakhouse? The design on the tie is a little inscrutable, a little West Coast hippy-dippy, so I'm going to simplify it a little bit with a few ugly smudges. There we go. Now, with a purple brush, we're going to work on the neck itself, and that feels like a natural segue to our next clue. Today's subject doesn't clean up after his dog, out of a strangely held but deeply misunderstood religious belief. While we're here doing the neck, it feels silly to not move on right to the head, so let's just do that. And we want a very, very rigid, straight forehead. It needs to be all right lines. Today's subject is known for their stark, inhuman head. I've decided to make the right side a little less hilly, a little less bumpy than the left. It's a secret us artists use to give our work a certain nuance, a certain depth. It's like adding a little bit of dish soap to your mashed potatoes when your belligerent family finally actually invites you over for Thanksgiving dinner. Bon appetit, Maureen. We're going to work with a thinner brush to capture some of the subject's facial features, and yeah, I like that line. I like it a lot, but not here. Today's subject, he frankly doesn't deserve it, so let's get rid of it for now and move on to the ears. Back to a kind of Kelly green, and we want to be bold with the ears. We want the ears to tell a story. The kind of story that ends with, and they all lived happily ever after? Yes, perfect, sharp, wide, enormous, cruise ship sized. We want these ears to be so big they become a playground for the norovirus. Perfect, especially with that little hook there at the end. And if this isn't a photorealistic impression of a human ear, I've never seen an ear. The right ear is practically already done. I just need to follow the example from the first on the left. And there we go. A perfect copy. Flawless. Let's skip past the other facial features for now and get to work on the subject's hair. Because a head with ears and no hair is like a movie theater with milk duds but no toilet paper in the restrooms. And today's subject has a beautiful head of hair, 35% polyurethane, so we want to get it right. And no, that was beautiful, but it wasn't right. Let's try again, maybe with a slightly less heavy hand. We'll do some rough fuzzing here, rough fuzz all over his head. This lays the groundwork for what's to come, like the layers of manure underneath a strawberry field. Now we can go crazy. Now we can show off those luxuriant lab-grown locks. And that brings us to our next clue. Today's subject is legally married to a napkin. Throw in a couple more dry Bucatini-like strands of hair here. Sometimes when you stop and think, that's probably enough, that's actually the time when it's most important to add more. That was fun, but fun time is over. Let's get to the subject's sphinx-like face. And no, that was the wrong move. Let's try that again. Here we go, big Brillo pad-like eyebrows. And I'm gonna go with 2 eyebrows this time, I think. For the eyes themselves, I'm gonna go with a kind of bloated torpedo look, kind of a saggy sandwich, a loose change purse. We're gonna need a big honker of a brush for the subject's nose, and I literally could not make this big enough. In that way, and perhaps in other ways too, it's like a bloomin' onion. I'm not gonna bother with nostrils, because they're the work of malcontents and Baltimore Orioles fans, though I repeat myself. Let's get to the mouth, and our subject has a unique Lorna Doone-like mouth, so I'm gonna be real careful to get this right. 1 lip, yes, perfect, just as I had planned. And that brings us to our 4th clue. Today's subject claims to have the world's largest collection of disused Big Mac containers. Of course, I should color the eyes in here, and we definitely just want it to look like someone spilled something on his face. There we go. Finally, with all that real estate in the ears, let's add in some crinkly parts. I think that's what they're called, the crinkly parts. No, that doesn't look right. I mean, I liked them, I loved them even, but they belonged in a museum, not in the middle of these ears. I'm just gonna add in some color to the background, and this is a time when I can kind of go on auto drive. Maybe plan my upcoming week, trip to the grocery store, trip to the library. Maybe go down to the reservoir and make sure that makeshift grave hasn't been unearthed yet. And that's just Monday. Painty, painty, paint, 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 and voila, we're finished. Before I reveal who today's subject is, here are our 4 clues. And now the big reveal, it's paid spokesperson Tom Brady. Thanks for watching this episode of I Arted and You Can Too. I'm your host, Mo Doberman. Subscribe and like and share and tune in next time.